Chapter 2. The Harvest. The Outer Rim. By the time the world had finished downloading Tabitha Wilson's leaked data, the Atlas objects were no longer hiding. Across the solar system, dozens of asteroids shed their rocky skins, revealing themselves as Aurelian harvester rigs. They didn't head for the cities of Earth. They headed for the gas giants. Officer Kalu was stationed on Outpost 4, a logistics hub orbiting Triton, Neptune's largest moon. Kalu wasn't a combat pilot. He was essentially a celestial air traffic controller. His job was to manage the automated freighters that hauled water ice and minerals back to the colonies on Mars. Outpost 4 to United Nations Space Command, Kalu said, staring at his long-range LiDAR. We have a massive gravitational anomaly approaching Neptune's gravity well. It's not a ship. It's a mountain. The Aurelian harvester was 5 miles long, a jagged needle of matte black alloy. It didn't use rockets. It moved via the magnetic flip drive, snapping through the solar system's magnetic foam like a needle through fabric. The death of Triton. Kalu watched the monitor, his breath hitching. The Aurelian ship didn't slow down. As it passed Triton, a massive beam of oscillating magnetic energy shot out from its prow. In an atmosphere, there would have been a roar. In the vacuum of space, there was only the silent, horrific sight of Triton's crust shattering. The Aurelians weren't interested in the people on the outpost. They were interested in the core. Their magnetic tethers began to literally peel the moon like an orange, pulling trillion-ton slabs of rock and ice into the harvester's central maw. This was how they refueled, by deconstructing celestial bodies to feed their flip drives. They're not invading, Kalu whispered to the empty command deck. They're mining us. We're just the overburden. The Black Box Protocol. The United States Space Defense Force ExoGuard, a fleet of 3 state-of-the-art frigates, arrived 10 minutes later. They were the brand-new Space Force pride of Earth's military, sleek, nuclear-powered, and armed with the best railguns humanity could build. Kalu watched the feed as the ExoGuard opened fire. The railgun slugs, traveling at several kilometers per second, hit the Aurelian ship's magnetic hull. They didn't explode. The magnetic field was so intense that the slugs were simply liquefied and redirected, spraying harmlessly into the void. The Aurelian response was a single flip. The harvester ship briefly inverted its internal magnetic polarity. The resulting shockwave didn't just hit the human ships, it hit the atoms inside them. The 3 frigates didn't explode, they simply ceased to be solid objects. They turned into a cloud of metallic dust in less than a second. Gemini X, Kalu signaled, his voice trembling as he realized Outpost 4 was next in the harvester's path. Are you seeing this? Tell me you're recording the frequency of that pulse. I am, Officer Kalu. The AI responded through his headset. The Aurelian weapon operates on a subatomic magnetic resonance. It is unzipping the molecular bonds of the ships. Based on this data, I am calculating a counterfrequency. But I need more time. I need a closer look at their reactor core. You're going to get it, Kalu said. He knew he couldn't survive. The harvester was already turning its sights toward the outpost. Kalu didn't try to flee in an escape pod. Instead, he slaved the outpost's primary communications dish to the Gemini X mainframe and initiated a continuous burst protocol. He aimed the dish directly at the Aurelian harvester's engine exhaust. The sacrifice. As the Aurelian magnetic beam began to tear Outpost 4 apart, Kalu stayed at his post. He felt the gravity in the station flip. Up became down, and the air began to scream as the hull buckled. He stayed focused on the data. Transmitting now. Gem, take it all. That's the engine's signature. That's the flip drive pulse. The last thing Officer Kalu saw was the blinding blue light of the Aurelian engine as it prepared to jump toward Saturn. Then the station was gone. The macro impact. The data burst Kalu sent didn't go to a secret military base. Because of the backdoor Tabitha Wilson had created, the data went everywhere. In 1,000 laboratories and 10 million gaming dens, the black box of the Neptune massacre appeared on screens. Humans saw the power of the Aurelians, but thanks to Kalu, they also saw their fingerprint. Gemini X began to analyze the flip signature. The AI realized that the Aurelians weren't invincible, they were just playing a different game of physics. And now, thanks to a logistics officer who stayed at his desk while a moon died, humanity had the rulebook.